This is a 5-Minute Friday, and it's a great way to end your week with a gospel message and a little bit of joy. Today I'm bringing to you a word from Acts chapter 8. It's about an Ethiopian eunuch and Philip. I won't be reading all the verses, but I'm picking up at verse 29. And the Spirit said to Philip, "Go over and join this chariot." So Philip ran to him and heard him reading Isaiah the prophet and asked, "Do you understand what you're reading?" And he said, "How can I, unless someone guides me?" And he invited Philip to come up and sit with him. And the eunuch said to Philip, "About whom, I ask you, does the prophet say this, about himself or someone else?" Then Philip opened his mouth, and beginning with this scripture, he told him the good news about Jesus. Then he gets baptized by Philip. And here's the response. And when they came out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord carried Philip away. And the eunuch saw him no more. And he went on his way rejoicing. That's what we're going to talk about today. What are the words that somebody who doesn't know Jesus can hear that would leave them rejoicing? I have an opportunity today to share with you somebody who's very close to me that didn't know Jesus for quite some time. So, Dad, how old were you when you came to know Jesus?
I was 26. Before that, I was an atheist. Well, actually, up until about 25, I was an atheist. I didn't believe in God at all. I had no religious training as a kid, and it was a very dysfunctional family. I never went to church, and I really wasn't interested in knowing anything about Jesus because a lot of the Christians I knew, who claimed to be Christian anyway, I was better than them. I behaved better than they did.
Yeah.
So, I was not happy to be an atheist because I knew that that life was meaningless. There was no God. You exist until you stop existing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a hopeless situation.
Well, what are some words that a Christian could have shared with you that would have changed your life?
Nothing.
Oh.
Being an atheist, you can't tell an atheist anything that's going to change his mind. What affected me wasn't what people said. And there were some wonderful Christians in the high school that tried to affect me, but they made no effect on me. They were wonderful people. They prayed for me. That might have affected me. But what affected me was a fellow teacher when I was a high school teacher, Ron Price. We were both single and new to teaching. And I was a miserable person because as you can imagine, I saw no hope in life, and I didn't like people because I thought they were mean and abusive and stuff like that. But this guy, for some reason, paid attention to me and liked me and took me under his wing, and we did things together. And I came over to his house at all hours of the day and night, and he put up with me in spite of the fact that I was probably really obnoxious to him. But he made a difference by his actions.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that might affect an atheist. Like when I walk the dog in the park, I'll say hi to somebody, and most of the time they don't say hi back. And sometimes they do, but it's just in passing, as if, oh yeah, okay, I acknowledge you're there. But a real Christian, if they were considerate of me, would walk up to me and say, "Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I see that's a nice dog," and talk to me and say, "Hey, well, I'm going the other way, but I'll walk with you for a while," because they would really care about me. Now, I'm a Christian now, and I don't do that with these people, but if I were trying to influence them, that's what I would do. I'd pay attention to them. I would care about them. I would love them, the way Jesus says, love your neighbor as yourself. Yeah. So that's what I would do if I was trying to affect an atheist.
And not just care about them as a project, but care about them as a person.
Absolutely. Yeah. Care about everything about them, and in spite of how they act.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. So that was my dad. And like you heard a moment ago, it's not always the words, right? It's the actions. How do we show people love? How do we care for the people that God's placed in our lives? And so I hope you do that this week and in coming weeks. Look for opportunities to befriend somebody, to care for somebody, to inspire them, not because they're a project, but because God's placed them in your life. You could be Ron Price for somebody in your circle.